Smell. It's a major tool for interpreting the world. Sharks sniff out prey from traces of blood in the water. Spiders find love in the air. Turkey vultures smell death from the sky. Bears sniff out prey kilometers away. And for some, BO is their MO. In the race to survive, animals can win or lose by a nose. In an underwater oasis, a sea lion swims alone, lost and separated from its pod. An open wound slowly bleeds. 1,000 feet away, a great white shark senses something and changes course. It can't see the sea lion or hear it, but it can smell it. The shark picks up scent particles in the water. He reaches his prey and waits for the right moment to strike. Smell is by far the shark's most powerful sense. It's what's made them one of the most enduring species on the planet. Sharks have honed their sense of smell through millions of years of evolution. It's helped put them at the top of the food chain, and it keeps them there. There are over 400 known species of shark, in many different shapes and sizes. They don't all have rows upon rows of razor-sharp teeth. They don't all possess blazing speed, nor brutally strong jaws. So how have they done it? How have they thrived for so long? One reason is timing. For the shark, it's everything. They always seem to be in the right place at dinner time. This is a direct result of their extraordinary chemoreception ability. Chemoreceptors in the nasal cavity detect chemical particles in the water and send the information to the brain. This ability is universal in fish. But since sharks first appeared on Earth more than 450 million years ago, their chemoreception abilities have evolved to an extraordinary degree. And it's helped them become apex predators. A lemon shark can detect tuna oil at 1 part per 25 million. That's about 10 drops in a backyard swimming pool. Depending on the speed and direction of the water current, some species can pick up the scent molecules several football fields away. But how? It all starts here, in the snout, with 2 holes called nares. Unlike human nostrils, they're not connected to the respiratory passageways. Each nare has 2 openings. Water flows in one and out the other. Inside the nares, water flows through nasal sacs and over a series of skin folds called olfactory lamellae. From there, sensory cells relay signals to the olfactory lobes in the shark's brain. That's where the particles in the water are analyzed. If this data contains the scent of prey, the shark follows the scent trail in the direction of the particles. Just how important is smell to a shark? About 2/3 of the shark's brain weight is composed of olfactory lobes. That's a lot of processing power dedicated to one task. Some species of hammerhead sharks can even detect differences between the left and the right nares. It allows them to adjust their course based on which of the nares receives the strongest smells. Sharks can also recognize the scent of fish guts, and will head to the source of the carnage to find their prey. Being able to sniff out food is an excellent skill for a hunter. These chemoreceptive abilities also help sharks reproduce. When a female shark is ready to mate, she emits chemicals called pheromones into the water. This male shark is now mating because he detected the chemical signals, processed them through his nares, then received the signal in his brain's cranial nerve. What a payoff. Using their astonishing senses, sharks make thriving and surviving almost seem easy. Find food. Find a mate. It all adds up to 450 million years of being in the right place at the right time. For the deadly redback spider, the right place is the Australian outback. This female is part of the black widow family, so named because females of some species, including this redback, sometimes eat their mates. Disturb her and she'll bite, with a venom 15 times stronger than a rattlesnake's. Redbacks in Australia don't get out much. They spend most of their time hiding in dark spaces. People have a hard time spotting them. But for male spiders, it's almost impossible. They have poor vision. So how does the female communicate with males when she's ready to mate? Just like a shark does, she sends a message. She deposits a chemical cocktail onto her web, which evaporates into the air. These pheromones can travel long distances saying, "Come to me." The male detects this signal using the tiny hairs all over his body. They're packed with chemoreceptors, which interpret the pheromone's message. So even if a female spider is far away and hidden, the male will find her. The female's pheromones that are dotting her silk trigger courtship behavior. Now, the male picks up the chemical trail with his sexual organs called pedipalps. They're the tiny black balls at the front of his body that look like boxing gloves. Time to put on some moves. He performs an elaborate courtship ritual, and his success depends on doing it right. Make the wrong move, and he could be her next meal. It's complex and dangerous, but he wouldn't bother unless her pheromones told him she was worth it. She's still eating, but now he's got more serious competition. The female's pheromones have attracted another male. They'll fight for access to the female. After a few skirmishes, the bigger guy wins out. He's ready to mate and delicately approaches the female. He uncoils the two pedipalps on the front of his head and gets ready to insert them into the epigynom, the genital opening in the abdomen. He's lucky. She's full of mealworm and chooses not to eat him. It's the ultimate win for this male. He gets to spread his genes and lives to see another day. Chemoreception is a powerful tool used throughout the animal kingdom. And evolution has created lots of different ways for creatures to smell the world around them. Snakes are among the most efficient predators in the animal kingdom. It's not hard to see why. Razor-sharp fangs, deadly venom, or powerful muscles that will squeeze the life right out of its prey. But tracking and catching prey in a dense forest like this requires more than sharp teeth and some nasty venom. It requires one of the best chemosensory perceptions in the animal kingdom. Snakes have perfectly good sight, but their sense of smell is so powerful, their eyes are almost superfluous. They have normal nostrils visible on their snout, which work just fine. But what they use to smell their prey is actually their forked tongue. As the snake flicks its tongue, the tongue picks up tiny scent particles in the air. Essentially, it's tasting its prey. Then it delivers those particles to the vomeronasal organ, better known as the Jacobson's organ, which is located in the roof of the mouth. The organ is completely separate from the nasal cavity and operates autonomously. Its role is mainly to detect pheromones from prey and potential mates. This corn snake has picked up the scent trail of a mouse and closes in on its quarry. As it analyzes the scent, the snake can decrypt the species, size, and direction of the prey's travel. It knows exactly where the mouse is. And if he misses the first time, he adjusts the strategy as needed and doesn't miss again. A snake's nose does more than just smell. Some snakes, like pythons, boas, and pit vipers, have an astonishing sense that gives them even more of an edge. They can sense heat. These snakes can feel the location of slight changes in ambient temperature. They can see the infrared heat waves of a living organism using small, nostril-like pits on their faces. A blinded pit viper can sense a mouse that is a mere 10 degrees Celsius warmer than the surrounding air from 70 centimeters away. This mouse's fate was sealed long before the corn snake's fangs sank in, when the first of its heat waves radiated across the forest floor and its scent particles first landed on the snake's forked tongue. Despite the prowess of their serpentine foe, there are at least as many rats on the planet as people. 7 billion. Probably more. Rodents have found ways to survive and thrive thanks to their sense of smell. This is the brown rat, a fuzzy pet version of what's also known as the sewer rat, wharf rat, or Norway rat. Most live near food and garbage. They've crawled and gnawed their way through every continent except Antarctica. Scrappy in their hunt for scraps, rats keep their nose to the ground. They've got 3 times more genes that code for smell receptors than people do. That makes smell very important to them. BO is their MO. It's at the center of all their interactions. And there are a lot of rat interactions. They're social creatures, after all. A colony can host up to 100 rats. From a whiff of another rat's breath, rats can tell where the nearest buffet is and exactly what's on the menu. Rats pick up each other's scent from urine and other bodily secretions on the ground and chemicals in the air. Each rat's own smell is a unique cocktail. Inside a rat's nose, olfactory receptors scan another rat's odor like a barcode. Like their enemy the snake, they use a Jacobson's organ, that dense pack of sensory cells above the roof of their mouth, to pick up airborne chemical signals. All that chemical information speeds to the brain for analysis. There's no privacy. One whiff, and a rat can determine another rat's sex, social status, stress level, and colony membership. The next move, aggression, affection, or attraction, is all based on that initial smell. This guy can tell from her scent that the female is ready to mate. He's picking up scent clues, even if she doesn't look like she wants to go through with it. Rats' noses have helped them go forth and multiply, finding mates, food, and even sniffing out danger. So wherever humans are, rats will be there for company too. Smell you later. Deep in the forest, an animal prowls that can smell its prey from several kilometers away. The bear. It's big, fast, and freakishly strong. For a bear, smell is everything. They have one of the strongest senses of smell in all of the animal kingdom. A grizzly's sense of smell is 7 times greater than a bloodhound's. To keep those big bodies moving, they're constantly on the hunt for food. Any food. Most bears live in cold climates, and before they hibernate each winter, they stock up and bulk up. This period of excessive eating is called hyperphagia. During this time, black bears can increase their body weight by 35%. They spend their days searching for food. They're opportunistic omnivores and will take advantage of whatever they can find, which is mostly roots, berries, and seeds. A black bear's diet is 85% vegetarian. The rest can be made up of carrion and rabbits. Using its extraordinary nose, a bear can pick up tiny amounts of chemicals in the air. Hundreds of muscles deftly manipulate its nose to draw in the maximum scent. Inside the nose is a huge surface area packed with hundreds of times the chemoreceptors that a human has. This feeds 2 huge olfactory areas in the brain, which process the information. A bear's brain is only 1/3 of the size of a human's, but the part devoted to smell is 5 times larger. Black bears have been observed smelling a food source from almost 5 kilometers away. Some researchers have observed polar bears smelling seal holes in the ice over 1 kilometer away. It's hard to measure a precise distance, but even conservative witness accounts paint a picture of bears' tremendous ability to track scents. If they smell a carcass, they'll close in and steal it from another predator. When there's nothing to hunt or scavenge, as omnivores, black bears and grizzlies can draw much-needed calories from plants and animals buried in the soil. If they pick up on a scent, they use their huge claws to dig deep into the earth to find burrowing animals, roots, bulbs, and insects. But in today's world, many of the smells wafting through their environment come from humans. Whether camping, hiking, fishing, or hunting, humans are being smelled by one of the strongest noses in the animal kingdom. A nose as legendary and formidable as the bear itself. Mammals as a group are very good at smelling. Birds, not so much. There are exceptions, including some who don't look good, but smell great. Turkey vultures. These scavengers ride the thermals, scanning the ground below for food, and can spot a carcass from hundreds of meters up. Turkey vultures are some of nature's garbage men, cleaning up carcasses from the southern tip of South America to the Canadian tundra. They deserve an environmental award. They're not the prettiest birds, but they have other strengths, like an extraordinary sense of smell, thanks to the largest olfactory system of all birds. The turkey vulture's sense of smell rivals that of their ancient ancestors. The earliest birds inherited an extraordinary sense of smell from the dinosaurs. It helped them forage on the ground, close to the source of sense. But as birds evolved to spend more time in the air, further away from the ground, their sense of smell became less important than sight. Smell is now reduced in most birds, including many species of vultures. The turkey vulture is an exception. It evolved in a different direction to become a phenomenal avian sniffer. Much of the time, turkey vultures fly over dense vegetation and forests where it's hard to see the next meal. Being able to smell dinner, in this case rotting flesh, comes in handy. They're exquisitely designed for it, like those two enormous nostrils. You can see clear through the beak, but these giant openings allow the vulture to inhale deeply and pick up even the faintest trace of death. And by trace, we're talking a few parts per billion. The birds multiply their individual strengths working in groups. As they circle, turkey vultures are like a flying radar system that picks up smells instead of radio signals. Together, they pinpoint the source. Black vultures, who don't have the same sense of smell as their cousins, watch to see when turkey vultures descend and join in on the feast. By cleaning up carcasses and bringing other vultures to the table, turkey vultures are constantly helping get rid of decomposing and toxic waste. It's how they earned their scientific name, Cathartes aura, from the Greek katharsis, which means cleansing or purifying, and the Latin aureus, meaning golden. That more flattering description is right on the beak for these superb smellers.